we cannot have this show on the Roku Sports Channel without taking a minute to say thank you to Diana Taurasi. And I say that as the new executive producer and the new co-host of Women's Sports Now, which is coming to you on Roku. It's going to be great. The first show ever devoted to women's sports. And I can't wait to be a part of it. And a lot of that is about Diana Taurasi. She retires after 20 WNBA seasons, 3 titles, 6 Olympic golds, and by the way, spent her entire career with the Mercury. That is sick. And she also took UConn to 3 straight national titles from 2001 to 2004. And then the Mercury took her to number 1 in the 2004 WNBA draft, and she's been winning ever since. But she's a leader. She's a GOAT. I so appreciate the intensity of which she played and the fact that she brought physicality. And I know you'll say Cheryl, and I love Cheryl Miller, and there's a lot of other strong women who play for the WNBA. But for a mom of a baller, she showed people what it meant to bring physicality. Gino Oriyama had a great quote. He said, "It's a life that's a novel, a movie, a miniseries, a saga. It's the life of an extraordinary person who I think had as much to do with changing women's basketball as anyone who ever played the game." Diana Taurasi, I think you're the greatest. I hope that you will join us on our first show right here on Women's Sports Now on the Roku channel, because I think she is awesome. And she really did single-handedly change the game of women's basketball. So we give you your flowers and we say thank you for an incredibly, incredibly impactful career. I mean, TJ, you love the WNBA. Mm-hmm. You like the association. Mm-hmm. Can you think of someone else? You mentioned Cheryl Miller, obviously, and I have kudos and so much love and respect for Cheryl, but you say Diana Taurasi and you're like,
WNBA, though,
but you say Diana Taurasi and you just think tight bun on top of her head and baller, correct?
Well, Taurasi was also the type who talked a lot of trash. Like, she wasn't out there to make friends. She was out there to bust your ass and put up 20 and win basketball games. And so when I think about her, that's what I think of, like an ultimate competitor, someone who would get down and dirty and tell you about yourself, And,
yeah.
And she always seemed to be having fun, though, too, on top of all that, which is also the worst, Chris, when you used to play, when somebody's out there just busting you up.
And then they're kind of laughing at you
laughing at you and having fun. It's like there's nothing worse, because you can't out trash talk her, and you can't stop her on the court.
And you can't outplay her, yeah. We were talking about this yesterday. Mount Rushmore, female basketball player?
100%. She's got to be.
Yeah, right?
She's got to be. I mean, the Olympics, college ball, WNBA. She made the all-WNBA first team 10 times. Was on the first or second team 14 times. It's all well and good to come into a league and have a couple years, but for her to play like Sue Bird, for her to play as long as these women did with such a high level of intensity and impact, she set the stage for aggressivity and for like playing with compunction. And again, as the mother of a daughter who is now learning to play more physically. And by the way, Rich is right. I almost threw down at a game recently because I got mansplained to. That's just a little side note. Excuse me, ma'am. This is after Taylor gets thrown to the ground and she's crying. And Taylor's tough. And for Taylor to cry in a game, and I call for an injury timeout because we have injury timeouts because it's an under 12 rec league. And the guy comes over and goes, "Ma'am, basketball is a physical game." And I saw red. I was like, and like, Chris, I never had a Boston accent. I never came out with one.
Right.
But I was like, "Are you mansplaining me?" I saw red. I'm like, "I covered the NBA for 20 years. Did you play in it?" And I'm like, "You are not going to talk to me in front of my girls in a girls' league and mansplain to me about the physicality of basketball." I channeled my Diana Taurasi, and I let him have it.
Well, your number one got thrown to the ground. So
yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Wait, what?
Slid that one in.
That was cute. Anyway, Diana Taurasi, we love you. We think you're the greatest. And this is an open invite to join us here in the Rich Eisen Show studios on Women's Sports Now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S. Search Rich Eisen Show on your Roku device for daily replays.